It's almost time to rumble. It's almost time for the Royal Rumble this Saturday in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the Tampa Bay Devil Rays play. Yeah, 30 men and 30 women are fighting for glory all day. Ha ha ha. But before we get to that, let's talk about what could happen on the card because the event hasn't happened yet because my time machine's in the goddamn wash. Nevertheless, let's get to it. I'm John Redland with my WWE Royal Rumble 2024 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments, please. Yes, I'm recording these Tuesday afternoon because I've got a busy week with work and other projects, and also only 4 matches have been made official for this. The 2 Rumbles and 2 title matches. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty power-packed event. There's a lot of star power on there. There's one particular match I don't really care about. I'm a little bit nervous as far as who could win the respective Rumbles. If they go with the smart decisions, one of 2 people in each Rumble, then it'll turn out good. I may talk about some potential surprise entrants, but really it's all up in the air. As of now, there's like 8 announced for the Men's Rumble, 8 to 10, and like 4 to 6 announced for the Women's Rumble. I'm not going to be reviewing SmackDown, by the way, because I'm going to be working extra this week, so I'm actually going to be missing out on the first half of SmackDown. Oh, darn, geez, whatever will I do? So yeah, let's talk about Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens is not going to have that cast on his hand because Logan Paul says it's a weapon, even though Logan Paul has, has a weapon, has that knockout punch, and it's going to turn into a fairly entertaining match, even though I hate Logan Paul as a person. I despise him. I wish nothing but the absolute worst for the individual. But as far as in the ring, he has done some really good stuff. He has taken this like a fish to twatter. I think that's how the phrase goes. But Kevin Owens is going to get some good stuff out of Logan as well. But yeah, it's going to end up where Kevin Owens' hand will come into play, and Logan's hand will come into play. Logan Paul will retain the U.S. Championship and go on to defend the title against likely LA Knight, at Mania 40. And speaking of LA Knight, he's in the next match as Roman Reigns versus LA Knight versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. 4-way match for the Undisputed Championship. Look, they could switch it to Orton, have Orton and Cody because of the history there. But if Roman and Rock is actually happening at Mania, I'm not saying it needs a title, but why end Roman Reigns' run just to give it to Orton for a bit and then give it to Cody, because Orton has had to have limited bumps because of the back surgery that he had. So this is smart, especially for the fact that Roman is the youngest of these guys, and that's not saying much. It's really kind of an old man 4-way. I worry this match will end up going about 30 minutes, which it doesn't need to. It should be bing, bang, boom, action, and there should be some selling, but it really should only be about 20 minutes because the entrances will be about 10. Roman is going to retain and then go on to defend the title at Mania. I kind of hope that he actually ends up beating Hogan's record in mid-September. One, it'll mean that Cody can't finish his story, which I will take great delight in just because. And also, it'll piss off certain people that feel that somebody like Roman Reigns doesn't deserve to be that long reigning of a champion. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. Seriously. At this point, it's just a number. It's not going to really fucking matter if he beats Hogan's record, but it would be rather fucking hilarious. But at that point, if he's going to face that record and beat it, then he's going to hold it till Mania 41, and that's going to be nuts. So, yeah, Roman Reigns is going to get the victory. Now, let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble right now. It's going to come down to 2. If Nia Jax wins the goddamn thing, by the way, that's fucking terrible. That's one of the worst decisions, and Triple H deserves all the fucking scorn. Bayley, Becky. That's it. I'm not saying that other people can't have really great showings. Bayley wins, and then they could do a tease where she's gonna, want to face Rhea, but she ends up facing Io, and then we get that dissension with Damage Control, and they have a pretty good match. In fact, I would really like to see that, especially after all the bullshit Bayley had to deal with, like at Mania 37, and the fact that Bayley has been one of the MVPs of WWE programming for the last year or so. And you can't have multiple MVPs because when she's not on, there are other people that are on. The whole point is she against Io, that'd be good stuff. If Becky wins, Becky versus Rhea, I'm all for. That would be tremendous. Becky would be a 2-time Rumble winner. Bayley has never won the Rumble. She's never won it. I think it'd be the time to do it because Becky is as hot as she is ever going to be, literally and figuratively. Bayley winning this would do a lot more for her than the second Rumble win would do for Becky. Fans are still going to take to Becky regardless. Bayley deserves this. As far as surprise entrance, I think Trinity, aka Naomi, is almost a lock. I don't think Mercedes Moné is, but I would kind of laugh if she came back as Sasha Banks. It would be rather hilarious. They could have Mickie James show up. I think she's working and doing some stuff in OVW, I believe. They could always, pull off some shock people. They could have Julia there, except I don't think Julia's deal is up yet. That would be a really weird way to debut her, unless they're going to give her like 15, 20 minutes and then have her show up in NXT. Speaking of NXT, Tiffany Stratton, I think, will be there. Roxanne Perez, I think, will be there. I think you could call up others. You could have Kiana James there. You could have a lot of people. Ivy will be in the Rumble because they've really only announced a few official people as of now. Bianca is in the running, obviously, but Bianca has already won a Rumble. And I think her losing this could cement a possible heel turn, even though she's an inspiration to a lot of young women, a lot of young men. And she's got that show coming out with Montez Ford. A heel turn wouldn't actually hurt because she can play both. But I think Bayley and Becky is what it's going to come down to. AJ Lee is a possibility, but I don't know. I don't know. I think she's still is recovering from recent surgery and issues that she's had. In the neck or back, I forget what it was. I know she was doing some work for that heel show that I believe got canceled, if I recall correctly. There's a lot of good potential here as long as they don't focus on Nia too much. Because Nia has just been a death knell in the women's division. There are people that have liked her run, and that's fine. You can like that. But Crushinator Jack should not be, anywhere in the running to win this thing. And my thing is, though, if you have Sasha come back and you have Trinity come back, especially Sasha, if Sasha's not going to win, Sasha may just want to go over and get a shit pot full of money from Tony Khan to work with the women's division that has issues. But we're talking about the Rumble. So yeah, Bayley and Becky is what it's going to come down to. I'd love to see Victoria. I'd love to see others come back. I'd love to see Molly Holly come back. My thing is, though, maybe bring some... I would just bring some women up from NXT. It wouldn't hurt. You could give them a bit of a shine. You could... Well, I mean, you couldn't really do video packages during the goddamn Rumble because we got to focus on the goddamn action, but... JC Jane I'd like to see in the Rumble. I mean, I'd like to see JC Jane on television at any point. But I think that they could shore this thing up. But Bayley and Becky is what it's going to come down to. So let's get to the 30-man Royal Rumble. CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Or Cody. But it's likely going to be CM Punk. Seth Rollins is going to fight through this, these knee issues that he has that he really should get surgery on. If this was back in October, then if this was even November, he probably could have gotten it done, relinquished the title, come back for it, and lost at Mania against CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. But since we're so close to Mania, he's going to fight through it. That's a different story, though. Punk is going to be the one to win the Rumble. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. The predictability isn't a problem. Now, Drew is a dark horse. He could get that. But I don't necessarily think that we're going to get Drew McIntyre becoming a 2-time Rumble winner. We're going to have Bork return, and it's going to be Bork, the Bork Laser against Gunther. And that's the match we're going to build for Mania. I hope Big E returns. I hope Big E returns, one, for the pop because of Florida, but also... because, a lot of people love him there. I really do think, though, that he won't. Because he wants to decide on his future. And if he doesn't want to get back in the ring, wants to have a great quality of life, I'm all for that. Whatever makes him happy. God, I would love to hear that music. It would be great shit. It would lead to a lot of media attention. And he would be back in a wrestling ring for the first time in almost 2 years. Obviously, we could have other male returns. Somebody said, The Undertaker could show up. Dear God, do not fucking do that. Yeah, his one dead man show is on the next day. Somebody joked that Hulk Hogan could show up. Okay, what are you going to do with Hogan? How are you going to get Hogan over the goddamn top rope? Hogan can barely step through the goddamn ropes. He's near or at 70, and he's had multiple back issues and stuff like that, and he probably would just get knocked out and laid out and everything. Hey, maybe Gunther could chop him once. That would be funny. But I think that we're going to get a lot of good stuff in the Men's Rumble. And I think we could get potential surprise entrants. I just can't think of who. I mean, Sean Spears could show up at number 10. He'd be Ty Dillinger again. But, I mean, Dexter Lumen, I don't know what the fuck's happening. I mean, they have enough people on there, on the roster, to make it work. Just, what the fuck else can you do? Watch them have put Michael Cole in the goddamn Rumble again. They could put Corey Graves in there. That would certainly be something. I mean, he could get dropped on his head. It wouldn't damage him at all because the man hasn't had a working brain since 2014. But CM Punk and Cody are the two most likely to get the victory. Drew, again, could work. But I don't see how we go with anything other than Punk and Cody. So as far as surprise entrants, who do you think would be the surprise entrants in the particular Rumble? So yes, Becky or Bayley in the women's, Punk and Cody in the men's. And that's all I have to say for the predictions for a 4-match card. I'm excited, though. I'm very, very excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin, and it's going to be time to rumble this Saturday. I need to stop doing this voice. Ha, ha, ha. See you soon.